I want you to think about someone you know personally, someone that works hard, someone who makes decent money, maybe even good money, and yet they're completely stuck. Not broke on paper, but stuck. Like no matter how much they earn, the needle on their actual wealth never really moves. Now here's the uncomfortable part. There's a real chance that person is you. Getting rich has very little to do with how hard you actually work or how much you make. It has everything to do with a handful of specific behaviors that quietly drain your wealth before it ever even had a chance to build. And most people do these things having no idea they're doing them. They just feel like normal decisions, reasonable decisions that everyone around you is making too, and that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. Because the people that actually build wealth aren't doing something radically different from you, they've just stopped doing a few specific things that you're probably doing right now. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those things are, and more importantly, you'll know what to do about it starting today. So let's get into it. Number one, and I'm starting here on purpose because this is the most common one and honestly the most painful to watch. Stop trying to look rich. Think about the last time you bought something, a car, some clothes, a dinner, a vacation, and part of the reason that you bought it was because of how it would look. That could be to your friends, that could be to people on Instagram, that could be people that you barely even know, but the pull is real. I get it, I felt it, we all have. But here's what nobody tells you. That pull is one of the most expensive things in your life right now. Because the fastest way to stay broke is trying to look rich. And the reason is brutal in simplicity. Every dollar you spend performing wealth is another dollar you can't spend to actually build wealth. You're taking resources meant for your future and you're trading them for approval you won't even remember in the next month. I've met people pulling in $300,000 a year and they are one bad month away from crisis. And I've met people earning $60,000 who are quietly building real generational wealth. The most financially secure people I've been around, and I've sat in rooms with some serious wealth, millionaires and billionaires, they are not the ones who need you to know about it. They drive normal cars, they're not wearing logos, they're not posting their hotel suites because they don't need to perform. They're too busy building, and I know this one might sting a little, but I need you to ask yourself honestly, how much of what you spend every single month is about your life and how much of it is about your actual image? That answer is worth more than any investment tip I could give you. Okay, number two, and this one's sneaky because it doesn't feel like a financial decision, it feels like a lifestyle decision, and that is instant gratification. Here's the pattern. You start making just a little bit of money and things look up, and so you upgrade. Maybe it's a new car, a new apartment, better clothes, restaurants, whatever it is that you used to save are now becoming a weekly routine. And you tell yourself you earned it, and maybe you did earn it. I'm not telling you not to enjoy your life, but here's the thing. Most people upgrade their lifestyle the moment their income goes up. They just do the same thing with more zeros. Most people don't have an income problem, they have a patience problem. Wealth is built in delay, not on deprivation. I want to be very clear about that. You don't have to live on rice and beans for your entire life, but there is a version of you that delays upgrade a little bit longer, stacks just a little bit more, builds a little faster, and crosses a threshold where your money starts working harder than you ever did. That version of you, they exist. They're not mythical, but they made a different choice at the fork in the road. Set aside your future first, automatically, and then enjoy what's left completely guilt-free. And here's where I want to take this a level deeper, because delayed gratification isn't just a money skill, it's a life skill, and the data backs this up completely. The people who've trained themselves to delay reward, to do the hard thing when the easy thing is right there, they earn more over the course of their career, full stop. People who always choose the path of least resistance, the easiest job, the least accountability, the first exit when something gets hard, they are consistently the least rewarded members of society. And I say that with zero judgment because I think most of them were honestly never taught any differently. But it's just true. Society rewards people in direct proportion to the difficulty of the problems they're willing to sit with. Delayed gratification is a muscle, and every time you choose the short-term reward over the long-term outcome, you're making that muscle weaker. Every time you choose the other way, though, you are making it stronger. And the people that have built real wealth have learned how to feel the pull of instant gratification and choose differently anyway. Number three, and this is where I see a lot of well-intentioned people get completely stuck, only focusing on saving. Now, before I say this, saving does matter. Having a survival fund, staying out of debt, not bleeding money on the stuff that doesn't matter, all of that is foundational. There is a ceiling to how much you save. There is no ceiling to how much you can actually make, though. If you make $4,000 a month, the maximum you can ever save is $4,000. You can cut your lattes and cancel every subscription, coupon at the grocery store, and the ceiling is always going to be $4,000. But your income, that has no ceiling, none. And most people never even look at that side of the equation. I talk to people all the time who have optimized every single dollar inside their expense and their budget, but have never once asked, how do I make more money? Not just through work, but through skills, investments, side income, ownership. Defense keeps you in the game. Offense is going to help you win it. Think about the wealthiest people you have ever studied. I promise you they did did not get there through cutting cost. They got there by building something that generated more. Look, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow and start a business. What I am saying is if your entire financial strategy is to spend less, you are fighting with one hand tied behind your back. Ask yourself, what is one move I can make in the next 90 days to grow my income? Not slash my expenses, grow my income. Okay, number 4, and this one's subtle, but it's one of the most dangerous things on this list, avoiding risk completely. I understand why people do this. Risk feels dangerous. That's the definition of it. Losing money is very painful, and the safe path often feels the most responsible. You keep your money in savings, you don't invest in anything you don't fully understand, and you wait until you're 100% sure. It feels like the smart move, but here's what most people don't account for: inflation. Right now, if your money is sitting in a regular savings account, it's losing purchase power every single year. The price of everything is going up, and your money, if it's not growing, is shrinking in real terms of what it can actually purchase, slowly and quietly with zero drama, so the safe choice is actually costing you every single year. And the biggest risk isn't losing money, it's never putting yourself in a position to make any money. Playing safe is one of the most expensive decisions that most people will ever make. Here's the thing that I want you to sit with for just a second. Everything is risky. Driving is risky. Starting a relationship is risky. Staying at your job you hate for another 3 years because it feels safe, that's risky. The question has never been risk or no risk. The question is always, which risk are you willing to take? And when you understand that, really understand it, avoiding financial risk stops feeling responsible and starts feeling what it actually is, the riskiest decision you can make. And so here's the mind shift change I challenge you with. Adopt an abundance mindset around this. Genuinely ask yourself, if I made a calculated investment and it went sideways, could I recover? And for most people watching this, the honest answer is yes. You are capable, you are a resourceful, hardworking person, you have the skills and you have the ability to earn. If something didn't work out the way you planned, I promise you would figure it out, and you always have. And that's not just blind optimism, but rather evidence from your own life. The people who build real wealth operate from that belief, but they move forward knowing that if the worst happened, they'd be able to rebuild. And that belief gives them the freedom to act while everyone else is frozen waiting for certainty that honestly never comes. Not taking a risk is the riskiest thing you can do. Say that to yourself again until it actually lands. Now, let's be very clear. I'm not telling you to throw away your savings into something you don't understand, chasing a hot tip. We'll actually get to that here in a second. What I am telling you, measured, educated risk is not the enemy. Educated risk is the vehicle. Every successful person I've ever studied sat across and took that risk. They calculated risk, they deliberated risk, and they did it consistently enough that eventually that risk paid off. So ask yourself that. Where in your financial life are you choosing comfort over opportunity? Because the answer might be costing you way more than you think. Number 5, and this one is where a lot of people are doing something that feels like it's right, but it isn't. Not understanding how assets work. And here's what I see constantly. Someone opens up a brokerage account, they buy a few ETFs, maybe some crypto, maybe they hear about a real estate deal or a syndication and throw some money in it, and then they call themselves an investor. But if you ask them to explain clearly what they own, how they own it, how it makes them money, what the risks are, and what the return mechanism is, it's not investing, it's just hoping. Clarity creates conviction. Confusion creates hesitation, and the hesitation is where most people stay permanently. Analysis paralysis, I hear this all the time. Here's what I want you to understand though. Assets are not all the same. A high yield savings account is not the same as a brokerage account. A real estate syndication operates completely different from owning a single family rental property. Every single one of these has a mechanism, a way it works, a return profile, a liquidity window, a tax treatment. And when you understand those mechanisms, when you can actually explain them to someone else, your confidence is going to completely change. Your decisions are honestly going to change. You stop guessing and you start building with intention. And this is exactly why I spend so much time educating before anything else, because information has to lead to application. Application is what causes transformation. Take the time to understand what it is, why it returns what it returns, and what you're actually buying. That clarity alone puts you ahead of the majority of people who are just throwing their money and completely hoping that it works out. Number 6, and this one's a personal one to me because I've seen both sides of it in my own life. Surrounding yourself with the wrong people. When I was in college playing basketball at BYU, I got dropped into a network I never would have found on my own. Multimillionaires and billionaires. All these guys would talk about is finances, growth, their family, and I soaked it all up. Years later, when I hit my first financial wall, I called one of those guys up, drove 12 hours round trip just to grab lunch with him. And that conversation changed the trajectory of my entire financial life because the people around him had a completely different standard for what was possible. And my dad always used to say, there are 2 ways to learn, counsel or consequence. Counsel means you get close to people who figured out, who can show you the shortcut, who can tell you what not to do because they've already paid the tuition of experience. Consequence means you learn by failing failing, by losing money, by wasting years. Both work, but one is way more efficient. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your environment and systems. Think about the 5 people you spend the most time around. Are they building? Are they growing? Are they talking about opportunities, health, money, vision? Or are they comfortable? Are they complaining? Are they spending their weekends the same way they did 5 years ago? I'm not telling you to cut everyone off, but I am telling you that proximity is one of the most powerful forces in your life. The conversations you're in consistently will shape what feels normal to you, and what feels normal to you shapes what you actually do. Your circle is either your ceiling or your launch pad, and you get to choose which one. So ask yourself this honestly: are the people around you pulling you up, or are they holding you right where you're at? And now there's number 7, the last one, and I saved this one because in a lot of ways, this is the one that ties all of them together. Waiting for the perfect time. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard some version of this. I'll start investing when I have more money, or I'll start figuring out my finances when I get through this next thing. I'll get serious about it next year. And look, I understand it. Life is complicated. Things come up, and timing does genuinely feel off sometimes. But here's what I learned. The timing never becomes perfect ever. There is always a reason to wait, always another thing to get through first. And while you're waiting, other people are moving quietly, imperfectly, messily, but they're moving. And most people don't feel because they made the wrong move. They fail because they never actually moved at all. That's the truth, and it's a harsh one, but it is an honest one. The people that I've watched build real wealth don't wait until they knew everything. They didn't wait until the market was perfect, or the economy was stable, or their life was fully in order. They started with what they had, they learned as they went, and they adjusted along the way. You don't get clarity before action, you get clarity from action. I've seen this play over and over. People have been thinking about opening a brokerage account for 3 years. People have been planning to start that side business. People who know they need to sit down and look at their finances, but they just haven't. And every month that passes is another month of compound interest completely lost, a month of skill development completely lost, a month of momentum lost. The cost of waiting is enormous. You just don't feel it immediately, which is exactly why it's so easy to keep doing. And here's the part I really need you to hear. Nobody is ever ready. Nobody, okay? Not the people you follow online who look like they all have it figured out, not the entrepreneurs posting the wins, not the investors closing deals. Every single one of them is still figuring out as they go. Every single one of them, I promise you, has uncertainty, doubt, has questions. They don't have all the answers yet. The difference is they moved anyways. I have been in rooms with billionaires, deca-billionaires, people who by every external measure have completely won the financial game, and I promise you, they are still trying to figure it out, still second-guessing certain decisions, still learning, still adjusting, and the idea that you reach some level of success and suddenly everything clicks into place and you just have perfect knowledge, perfect timing, and a perfect mindset to steamroll your dream life, that moment does not exist. It has never existed for anyone. You will always be figuring out, always, and once you actually accept that, something I promise will start to shift, because it means the gap between you and the people you admire isn't readiness, it's honestly just action. The beauty of this whole thing isn't the finish line you cross when everything finally gets sorted. The beauty is the climb on the way up, figuring it out. The version of you that's 6 months in, starting to see compounding effect of decisions you made when you had no idea what you're doing, that's where real growth lives. And the stars are not going to lie, and they never do. There will always be a reason to wait if you go looking for one. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect plan. Stop waiting to feel ready. You do not get rich when you're ready. You get rich when you decide. Getting rich isn't really just about doing one big thing. It is a lot more about avoiding the things that quietly keep you stuck. And most people never even realize they're doing them. They go through years, decades, making the same invisible mistakes, wondering why there's a gap from where they were and where they want to be never seems to close. Now you know these things are there, and just being honest with yourself about 2 or 3 of these can completely change your life in the next 5 or 6 years. And here's what I want you to do right now, okay? Drop in the comments which one of these hit hardest for you and which one are you going to change first, because that is where it starts. Don't do it someday, do it right now, commit to everyone else, drop it down below inside this video. If this video was valuable for you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps it get in front of more people who actually need it. And I dare you to share this with one person in your life who needs this conversation right now, and I'll see you on the next one.